Uncomfortable is the last thing on my mind right now. Just look at this place. A Shaper city. Don't you feel it too? This sense of divinity?
You seem to be quite excited to be here.
Why, of course I am. Tahar, I'm not sure if you understand how much this means to me. The forgotten city of Mullendeer, the heritage of the Shapers. Since my childhood days, I've dreamed of this. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, thank you. You and the Harbinger have made this dream come true.
Well, all we did was save you from the orcs. You were the one who found the entrance.
You make it sound as if saving me from those greenskins was an easy feat. Anything else I can help you with? If not, I'd like to take another look at that rune LeCain gave us. It's at least as amazing as this place. Yeah, do you need something? I'm a tad busy.
That armor you're wearing looks quite special. Is it from Windwall?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's from Windwall. I forged it myself. Why do you ask?
Well, our smiths might be able to forge you a better one. It looks quite worn.
What? No. No, that's not going to happen.
Why not?
It means something to me. But if it's my protection you're worried about, I can do some work on it myself. You'd have to cover the expenses, though. I'm a bit short on material these days.
Fair enough. I'll let you know if I have some resources to spare. There's something I've been wondering about. How did your cooperation with the...
Well, that was simple. I was in Everlight at the time, on request of the nobleman. He'd hired me to do some work on an artifact collection of his. One night, a courier contacted me and gave me a letter. The message outlined the mission and the pay, even though the latter was almost irrelevant to me once I realized what it was that LeCain wanted me to find.
Mullendeer.
Yeah, you know the rest of the story.
What are your thoughts on the Harbinger, Rondor LeCain?
Well, he's my employer. Without him, I wouldn't be on this mission. Or, what do you mean?
I was trying to say, how do you feel about what he stands for? The purity of light, Aenir's return.
Oh, that. I'm not certain I have an opinion on these matters.
Don't you care who you're working for?
Truth be told, not that much. Making a living as an archaeologist is hard enough, and in all honesty, aren't LeCain and his fellows just more of the same? There have always been cults who weren't happy with the Guardians and believed that there was even that one who believed in a sort of schizophrenic god, who was both a trinity of three different beings and a singular omnipotent god at the same time. However that's supposed to... Sounds funny when you think about it, but those lads were dead serious.
So you think the purity is harmless?
Of course they are. And like any other fanatic, he and his fellows will go down once people realize his god doesn't have all the answers.
So you don't believe in Aenir's return, in the new world?
No, I don't.
But there's truth to what the purity claims. The Guardians have been unusually silent.
Yeah, because maybe they finally realized how silly and ungrateful most of their creations are and decided not to bother anymore. What I'm trying to say is, there could be all kinds of reasons why they've withdrawn. And I doubt a bonkers robe-wearing lad such as LeCain knows the answer.
Does the Harbinger know you feel that way?
No, I guess not, but he doesn't need to know about that, does he?
Maybe you're right.
I certainly hope so.
How does one make a living as an archaeologist?
Good question. One I usually prefer not to think or talk about. For some obscure reason, only very few scholars take interest in the Shaper or the Hibernian culture, even though there is so much to be...
Like what? What is there to be found?
What? You mean apart from monumental steel constructs, ghost warriors, and a lot?
How do you explain that lack of interest?
Well, what do you think? Ignorance. No matter if it's orcs, elves, dwarves, or humans. Blasted, there's so much to be found, so much to be explored. Not just, but no, for some reason, the people with the coin just don't care. The only ones who even try to access this treasure are incompetent amateur treasure hunters, who usually get their heads chopped off by the first defense mechanism they walk into.
True. It's a pity.
but I suppose that answers your question. The life of an archaeologist is hard, and yet here I am now.
What exactly is it that fascinates you about the Shapers?
Oh, Tahar, that's quite a topic. I don't mind sharing, but are you sure you want to go there?
I am. Tell me.
All right. Well, where do I start? You see, the Shapers have always fascinated me. They're all over Io, these remnants of a once so glorious civilization. Yet for some reason, so many people are almost oblivious to it. On the one hand, of course, that's very sad. On the other hand, it also makes it, tell me, Tahar, when seeing all of this, don't you sometimes feel like you're exploring a childhood dream? The kind of world the poets and the bards always spoke of?
Sometimes, yes. It's dark, but also fascinating.
Absolutely. But this childish fascination was only the spark. The more I studied, did you know that at the pinnacle of their existence, they ruled over all of Io?
You seem to consider that a good thing.
Oh, good, bad. The world doesn't work like that. Of course, there are writings that hint at the fact that the Shaper Empire wasn't all, and it persisted for tens of thousands of years. Can you imagine? All this knowledge, all this art, all this wisdom. Nothing in the Io of today can match that. Nothing.
How do you know all this?
Some of it from writings, some of it's just connecting the dots. I know how many scholars are out there at the universities giving their talks about their problem is they're trying to understand the Shapers by reading books and dusty tablets. That's not how it works. You need to get out there, into another piece of the mosaic.
Very poetic.
Because it is.
My father always told me the Shaper Empire relied a lot on slaves.
What? No, that's rubbish. The Shapers had castes, yes, and it's probably the lower caste, but to call these slaves is like calling, say, a tanner who was born outside a royal family a slave, just because, and even the very lowest caste, the Zalanyur, always had enough to eat, a roof over their heads, and could, without paying a single coin, get themselves healed by a cleric if they need. So if you think that's unjust, go ahead. Ask an Everlight beggar which era he'd rather live in. He's not a slave, yes, but in some way.
And how exactly did their empire come to be? They must have conquered quite a few nations.
They had the liberty of being the first living civilization on our Io, at least as far as we know. That made it easier to maintain peace and stability. Until the end and the dragons.
And yet, they died out.
Yeah. A great mystery.
Most scholars think it was the dragons.
They do, but I doubt it. You saw what the Shapers were capable of. Even a race as powerful as the dragons couldn't have wiped them out. And you see the shape this city is in, Tahar. There's no traces of fire and destruction. But regardless of what it was, it doesn't change the fact that the way the current races of this world treat the Shapers is nothing short of pathetic. And why? Just because it doesn't fit into because to many, admitting what a marvel the Shapers truly were would mean admitting that our culture is pale in comparison.
Is our world really that bad?
That depends on your expectations. We could do worse, certainly, but if this is as good as we can get, then I have nothing to feel but pity.
Maybe you're right. There's a lot we could learn from the Shapers.
There is. In any case, I suppose you found your answer, haven't you? This is what fascinates me about...
I see. Well, thanks for the explanation, Iskram. I've been meaning to ask you. How does...
Let's not talk about this now.
All right. Sure.
No sweat, Tahar. It's fine.
Found out anything new about the room?
Well, so far all I can say is that what Lacane has given you is indeed a Shaper artifact, as we suspected. Now, I would write all this purity talk of the rune being a gift of Aenir off as religious nonsense if it weren't for the fact that the rune's energy actually interacts with the Godstones, shrines of Aenir.
Which means that the Shapers and Aenir are somehow connected.
Somehow, yes. And I'll find out how.
Goodbye. What do we need?
Tahar, may I help you with something?
Goodbye. Understood. Now would you look at that? Let's see. All right, let's cut to the chase. We need to discuss where and how we start our search. You are all familiar with the objective?
I think so. We need to find the Forge Stones to reignite the Nexus, decipher the Song of the White with it, and put an end to the Bloodburn.
That's about it. Iria thinks that someone removed the Nexus stones shortly before the city was abandoned, but they left their markers on that stone map. And now that we have a small army backing us up, we can start searching. Escrom?
Yeah, we suspect one of the stones to be in the desert of Aenir's Blade, probably in the possession of the Iron Falcons, whereas the other one is on an unknown island.
An unknown island?
Correct. And yes, the oceans might have long taken it, which is why the only way to find out is to build a ship. And to...
Wait. I am not certain, but I might know what that island is. Does it happen to be in the northwest? In the Black Sea?
I think so.
Well, that's fascinating. 2 years ago, there was an archaeologist in Everlight who claimed the same, that there was an island in the Black Sea, unknown to our cartographers.
Did he find it?
That is a complicated story. But building a ship would take a month, and this is a trail we could follow. If we go to Everlight, I can tell you more.
Well, it does sound promising.
And intriguing. So, where do we go first, Tahar? Everlight or Aenir's Blade?
I'll think about it and let you know when we head out. For now, just get prepared.
Will do, Corporal.
Yes? Will do.
Bon, je vais m'arrêter là pour ce live là. Prochain live, territoire elfe du coup. Je pensais le faire aujourd'hui, mais trop de blabla. Donc je vais sauvegarder. Moi j'avais pas vu ça. Ok, j'ai pas tous les recherches. Ah ok, je savais pas. Alors, trouver des alliés humains, c'est fait. Trouver des elfes et orques, ouais. Récupérer la pierre du Nexus à la lame d'Aonir. Vous aurez un guide de créateurs et sorciers sur votre télé. De l'exécuteur, des gobelins. Rencontrer Gore, donc ça c'est l'orque. La jungle d'Ambrefeuille pour demander de l'aide aux elfes. Ouais, bah là, ça c'est la prochaine quête. Sur la quête principale, poursuivre la quête principale. Ok, bon. Allez, je sauvegarde. Et on va aller sur Division 2. Je vais couper le live 2 petites minutes. Dommage qu'il n'y ait pas eu de bataille ni rien, ça sera pour la prochaine fois. Bah, ce sera pour demain. Je reviens de suite.